Primal Chaos. Hey guys, Primal Chaos here. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to do another deep dive into K-pop. I've done Le Sserafim, I've done Blackpink, and in the comments everyone's like, you know, you should check out BTS. They're the biggest band in the world right now. And I was like, okay, yeah, I don't know why I never thought of doing it because I'm aware of BTS. It's impossible not to be. It's impossible to not have heard of these guys just basically sweeping the entire world and having, you know, ridiculous amounts of engagement with the fans and things like that. So, you know, it was only a matter of time before I got around to doing this, and I don't know why it's taken me this long, to be perfectly honest. But I just need to understand what, you know, this is the whole thing with K-pop. They just seem to have these insanely large audiences. And, you know, so far what I've learned is that they just know how to make incredible pop music. And they always have incredible front-facing talent. They have amazing songwriting. They have, you know, impressive music videos and all that sort of stuff. Everything that goes hand in hand with cornering the largest chunk of the market, which is essentially the popular music scene, right? So BTS, no one probably does it better than these guys. I'm just not familiar with them. I've never heard any of their songs that I'm aware of, although I'm sure something slipped in without me realizing it and just didn't know who it was. But anyway, I was scrolling through YouTube looking for what song to do, and Dynamite shows up, and it's had 1.5 billion views. And again, as somebody who considers themselves interested in music, I need to understand why that is. How is it possible that, like, I didn't even think there was music videos on Earth that had those sort of views. But here we are. So there's got to be a reason. Let's just jump right in. I'm really curious. BTS Dynamite official MV. And here we go. Certainly a big hit, that's for sure. Oh yeah, no, I think I've heard this. That's definitely a familiar hook. Yeah, this is on TikTok and stuff, right? I'm sure it's like a viral song.
Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice tea and I'll get my ping pong. This is dead heavy, can't hear the bass, boom, I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey, yeah, this beach shade like money. This go all alone, I'm into that, I'm good to go, I'm diamond, you know I glow up. Hey, so let's go.
Okay, that's interesting. So far we've had, it's technically been one or two verses, but broken up into three voices. And there's a point of difference already. Like, it seems like, unfortunately, I'm not going to know who these people are by name, so I'm just going to say this guy and that guy. I'm sorry, I feel bad. I really like to know who I'm talking about. But so this guy seems definitely influenced by Michael Jackson. I saw some moves and stuff, and that sort of like quieter sort of R&B inspired, almost breathy kind of singing that kind of reminds me a little bit of MJ. But it seems like if they're placing them in their characterizations of who they are, he's definitely a classic rock guy, right? Because I can see Beatles posters, I can see 80s references. It looks like 2 David Bowie posters, and, you know, musical instruments, guitar, keyboard, surfboard, all that sort of stuff. There's a guitar amp on the floor. I feel like this guy, if they're sort of dressing the sets to represent the actual artist, then he's kind of your edgier rock sort of dude, I think. Tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I'd love to know. This sort of granular detail sort of stuff is why I think this band is so big, because there's 7 members. Yeah, 7 members. And they all have, you know, they're probably their own styles so that everyone can connect to a different band member, right? So actually it's interesting. They've got them labeled on Google here as main vocals, lead vocalist, lead rapper, vocals, rapping, and rapping. So I guess, yeah, once we got out of this part here,
shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll.
He's got a lot of those glottal stops as well. Get, you know, sort of rhythmically stopping the note as well. Which is, again, kind of a MJ sort of pioneered that sort of thing, at least to my ears anyway. Sorry, let me jump back. I'm talking all over the guy singing.
Tonight, so watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Shoes on, get up in the morning, cup of milk, let's rock and roll. Kink out, kick the drum, rolling on like a rolling stone. Sing song when I'm walking home, jump up to the top of the brown. Ding dong, call me on my phone, nice tea, and I'll get my ping pong. This is getting heavy, can't hear the bass boom.
Yeah, right. So this is one of the rappers for sure. It's interesting though because it's still melodic, like he's talking, but rhythmically, but still with some sort of like a musical energy to it, which is kind of cool. It's almost like it's how a rapper would sing, you know. I really dig that. That's cool. And again, that's kind of it sort of takes it from like this sweeping sort of sweet melodic sort of singing to edgy, punchy kind of rhythmic sort of stuff that sort of breaks up the monotony of having the same voice over and over.
And I get my ping pong. This is getting heavy, can't hear the bass boom. I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey. Yeah, this beach chain like money.
Yeah, rhythmically, that's really interesting. So like,
I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey.
life is sweet as honey. See, it's just rhythmically like, it's like almost when they wrote the lyrics, they're like, da-da, 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 and then they just sort of came up with words to fit, you know, which is typically, I write a lot of lyrics that way. In fact, a lot of people who write songs will typically play something and they'll be like, and then they'll come up with words that sort of fit that cadence. And it's amazing how sometimes you can write really good poetry that way. Like it seems like you're just choosing random words to fit, but somehow you can connect the dots and make something that sort of is compelling and still fits the narrative from just pulling things out of thin air. It's really interesting. But percussively, he's got a really interesting sound.
Heavy, can't hear the bass boom. I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey. Yeah, this beach chain like money. This go all alone. I'm into that. I'm good to go. I'm diamond. You know I glow up. Hey, so let's go.
Another singer, yeah.
I'm in the stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light.
Is he not allowed to eat a donut? What's going on? Great mover, wow, really cool.
Bring a friend, join the crowd. Whoever wanna come along. Word up, talk, just move right up the wall.
So this singer has sort of a lower tone, a lower timbre than the original singer, which is interesting. It's a down here more instead of up there. Forgive my singing, please. I'm hearing more than I'm being able to reproduce.
Word up, talk, just move right up the wall.
Nice harmonies too, really cool.
The breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the medicine, so you should keep your eyes on the ball. This is getting heavy, can you hear the bass boom? I'm ready. Life is sweet as honey. Yeah, this bitch chain like money. And this go all alone. I'm into that, I'm good to go. I'm down, you know I glow. And let's go. 'Cause I'm in the stars tonight. So watch me bring the fire, set the night light. Hey, shining through the city with a little funky soul. So I'ma light it up like dynamite. Whoa.
I just want to stop it there and talk a little bit about that chorus hook. It's got a real sort of, I mean, this is obviously like, it's pop, sort of funky pop, but they're really leaning hard into like the 70s groove kind of disco vibe. And, you know, sort of reminiscent of, you know, Bruno Mars from a few years ago as well. He was sort of leaning into that 70s funk groove, or like even early 80s funk groove, that sort of thing, like the New Jack Swing sort of stuff as well. But this is, it's interesting because they're sort of like modeling the music video on that as well. And it's cool because everything works in harmony with each other as far as like, you've got this 70s fun, funky, danceable groove. You got a great melody line. You got a real summery vibe, and all of those things kind of blend together really nice to give you this perfect sort of summer hit, right? And it's interesting. They're also styling the video in that way. Like this shot here is the summer shot, but if you go back here, that's very 70s disco inspired, or 70s in general, right? So they're wearing like flared pants, tab collars, the colors, the oranges, browns, and stuff like that really sort of stand out. Patent button-up shirts. You got disco written in big letters behind them, and they're in front of like a, like a disco club, that sort of thing. The visuals, the music, everything goes hand in hand. This is the kind of thing I noticed with Blackpink as well, is that the team that's sort of putting everything together is nailing everything on all fronts. The set pieces, the costuming, the hair and makeup, that's all working in tangent with the songwriting and the styling of the music and the voices and how they're putting together everybody's parts in the song and all that sort of stuff. It's just perfect. There's nothing you can say that's, I mean, what you can objectively say, this isn't for me. I don't like, music that is put together. I don't like bands that are manufactured. I don't like cheesiness. I don't like anything that doesn't have edginess or follows like a very specific line in order to produce dopamine, like that sort of thing. You can say all of those things, but what you can't say is that this is bad. It's not, objectively, it's not bad. It's in fact, it's perfect. It couldn't be better. So I'm a big fan of, giving everything a chance and liking what you like. And what happens is you end up discovering crazy new stuff like this, and you go, wow, okay, I had no idea that I would love BTS, but here we are. And, as somebody coming from doing reactions to bands like, some of the heaviest deathcore bands in the world, and then sort of transitioning over to this stuff, it's kind of like, it shouldn't be something, there's almost like this sensation in the world of music that you're not allowed to like two different things. And my philosophy is like what you like, don't judge other people for liking the things that make them happy, and let everybody do their thing and enjoy life, right? So, if you love BTS and it's your passion, then that's perfectly okay. And don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. That's the message of this video right there. I'm really digging this, because I'm interested in pop music. I'm interested in production. I'm interested in songwriting. And there's no better place to look for what is the pinnacle of that than this sort of thing. For me personally, it's probably a little bit too schmaltzy for me. Not that I don't really like listening to it, and to me it's very engaging. There's a lot to pick out and a lot to be interested in. I like things to have a little bit more edge. But again, that's not to say objectively that this is not for me. I can listen to this all day long. I can put this on in my car and drive and be super psyched about it. So it's interesting. You've got me. You guys have got me. I'm a rock guy, but there's nothing here that bothers me. I'm kind of into it. So here we go. Let me jump back a little bit. I want to hear how it transitions into the next part. They're all great singers too. I really love their voices. Oh. Should have been a sound effect there. That's really cool. There's the edginess right there. Look, how can you not love that song? It's designed to be loved. Like, that's exactly what it's for. I need to know more about each member of the band, because there's like I'm making predictions as I'm writing it because like everyone knows all boy bands fall into different categories. Each performer falls into a category. You've got to have something for everyone. And so in this band, you've got some singers, you've got some rappers. That automatically breaks them into sort of two camps and things like that. But I'm looking at it the whole time. I'm going, all right, who's the bad boy? There's always a bad boy. In Take That, it was Robbie Williams. And I don't know how well I'm remembering this story. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it always seemed to me that Robbie Williams was trying to get out of his contract with Take That. So he would just do crazy stuff to annoy the label so they'd eventually kick him out, right? And so what he would do is he'd get dreadlocks, or he'd go and like just do crazy stuff, or, you know, like he'd wear odd clothes, or he'd, you know, there was always some controversial thing that he was doing, which only added to the mystique of the band. It just made them more popular because now they had a bad boy amongst the ranks of all the cute boys. And it was just funny to watch because like at the bottom line is he just wanted to go solo and he wanted out of his deal. As far as this is how I'm remembering it. It was the 90s, people. It was a really long time ago. But as I'm watching this, I'm looking at it, trying to figure out how to categorize who's who, because I know that they have characters. I know that they probably would do that. Same as the Spice Girls, how you had sporty, scary, posh, whatever. That was a little bit more in your face. They were very specific about who was who. But yeah, I'm sure that these guys, like I said at the start, I'm picturing this guy is a true music fan, loves probably songwriting and, you know, classic rock and everything, probably a lot of Michael Jackson sort of stuff as well. But these ones are a little bit hard to categorize. Is this... Hang on. This one... Hang on. Let me see if I... That's the cute one, right? Softly spoken, adorable. I don't know. That's sort of where it's fallen down for me. I don't know too much about anyone else. This guy's very slick. Very... Probably too cool for school.
Dynamite.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do they have specific personalities that they lean into, or are they just 7 random guys who just hang out together? I'd love to know, because I'm only going off what is traditionally known about sort of boy bands and stuff like that. They usually try to cover all bases as far as the fan base goes. Yeah, but it's really interesting. Like, they're all flawless looking. They all, you know, are really well put together, well dressed. They can all move. They can all sing really well. Yeah, it's been a real interesting experience checking these guys out. Let me know. Like, this is the big summer hit. Do they have anything edgier? Something that's like a little bit sort of more moody or dark or something like that. I'd really love to see if they have sort of more than one flavor. I'm sure they do. They wouldn't be as big as they are if they didn't. But are these guys more than just a poster of like 7 cute guys on a wall? I'd really love to know what else they've got up their sleeve. So let me know if there's something kind of cool or edgy or punchy. Old, new, doesn't matter. I'd love to see where they came from, where they're going to. So hit me up. And, you know, any information you can give me about the guys themselves or about how the band was put together, things like that, I'd love to know. I much prefer to hear it from you guys than to Google it and just read a wiki article, because you guys talk about it way more passionately than you'll ever read online, you know. So anyway, that's it. Thanks, guys. That was actually a really cool experience. I'm glad I did that. Now I can safely say that I am aware of BTS. And I'm definitely keen to see more. I'm definitely more interested in sort of like doing a bit more of a deep dive in these guys. And also maybe some more Blackpink as well, because I still feel like I don't really know who they are. I know on the surface, but... Oh, excuse me. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Thanks again, guys. If you feel like I've brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel. Just buy me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. And definitely like, follow, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be doing more of this stuff. I also do a really diverse range of stuff. So if you're a fan of music in general, and you like everything from, you know, metal to pop to instrumental to classical inspired vocalists like Dimash and, you know, Lara Fabian, people like that, I do everything. So, you know, if you follow me, occasionally something will pop up you want to watch, you might as well check it out. So thanks again, guys. I appreciate you sticking around. Thanks for the tip on this one. Stay primal, and I'll catch you on the next one. Hey guys, this video is made possible by Enchroma. 1 in 6 guys and 1 in 200 women are colorblind, and if that happens to be you, there's something you can do about it. Click the link in the description, it'll take you to Enchroma's website where you can get a free eye test. And while you're there, maybe pick up some corrective lenses. They've got styles to suit everybody and a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you got really nothing to lose. Tell them Primal Chaos sent you.